welcome to JG3 Reviews. My name is James. I do fountain pen, ink, and paper reviews, and today I have for you a fountain pen. This is the Wing Sung $6.99. Really nice blue acrylic pen, isn't it? And I keep wanting to call it a little pen. It's not a little pen. It's actually a large pen. So if you like large pens, this might be for you. It is a piston filler. If you don't know what that means, we will talk about that as we talk about the design, the writing performance, and everything else about this pen. Let's just flip the camera and get right into that stuff. All right, here we have the Wing Sung $6.99, and that's what that is in the background as well. Not to be mistaken for the Pilot Custom 823 that clearly the design does emulate. So any credit for the design needs to go to Pilot. Let's just get that out of the way. This pen is a blue acrylic piston filler pen. As you can see, really nice color. I really like that. Very similar to the 3776 from Platinum, kind of a similar blue if you're familiar with that, with gold metal trim, not real gold, but gold metal trim, and solid piston knob and finial at the top of the cap. I actually would like, this emulates the Pilot, but I would actually like this to be translucent like the barrel. It would separate this pen from the Pilot a little bit more, and I just think it would look cooler. I think that about the Pilot as well. Anyway, what is a piston filler if you're not familiar? Just real quickly, you would turn this knob, and as you do, then actually you turn it this way, and this piston, which you can see, this is a demonstrator, the piston here will go down, expelling the air, and then with the pen in the ink bottle, you will twist it back, and as it comes back, it draws in the ink, just creates a vacuum and works that way. So, very easy filling mechanism, wonderful if you are into bottled inks. It cannot take cartridges, it cannot take a converter. You must fill it from bottled ink, but if that's what you like to do, this is a great filling mechanism and one that I really do like. That seems to all work well. I have ink in the pen, so I can't show it to you, but it's good. Let's continue with the design. So you have that clip, which is a nice teardrop shape with the Wing Sung logo. Plenty stiff, but not crazy so it glides over fabric pretty well for those of you for whom that matters. And then when you take the cap off, it takes 1, 2.5 turns, right at 2.5 turns, which will reveal some nice fine threads, not uncomfortable if you grip in a way where you're sometimes touching the threads, although you have a good generous grip section, so that really shouldn't be an issue. And you will notice it is also that solid plastic. Again, if this was the clear acrylic or the blue translucent acrylic, I would like that even better. Then you find the number 6 nib, and this is one of the things that I like about these pens is they take standard number 6 nibs, so they are nib swappable. Now, this has a medium nib, and it is a good smooth writer and is wet enough for me, so I don't mind at all. It does have a plastic feed, but if you're somebody who likes to swap nibs, this could be a great pen to put in maybe a calligraphy nib or just a nib of your own choosing, a Yovo nib or something like that into this pen. It should work and not be an issue. As far as the overall design, pretty classic in that design and a good looking pen. Mine is pretty well put together. All right, let's do a quick size comparison. There's the Wing Sung $6.99. Here is the Pilot Metropolitan, great everyday carry pen, a lot of you may have. Next is the quite affordable Jinhao 86, a Parker 51 styled pen, and you can see quite a good size difference there. Maybe closer in size would be the Kaigalu 356. Boy, I can never get tired of looking at that pen. Isn't that just a beautiful resin? Still smaller, similar in shape, but smaller than that pen. The Jinhao Heritage pen, and this is a much larger pen in diameter, but getting closer in length. And then, many of you familiar with the Jinhao 159, another pen that emulates a famous pen, and that is much closer in size, although much heavier and, of course, larger in diameter.
699. And I'm going to put a P here for piston filler because there are the two different models. And this is a medium nib. And the ink, it's a rival ink, isn't it? The Jinhao Deep Blue. I'm having a little bit, I think it's from the dry out while I was talking with the cap off and doing the filming just a little bit ago, that I think that's what that's about, because I really haven't had trouble with that. But, you know, make note, just in case, happens now and then. Now, this is not a flex nib. That's just something people are always asking about. You know, does it flex? Well, you know, you can get a little bit of line variation. This is just very light pressure. This is moderate pressure. And this is as far as I'm willing to push it. So, not a lot. I mean, you can see a little bit of difference there, but that's really not what it's made for. That's kind of like reverse writing. I almost never remember to do this. But it does have a little bit. And it's not too terrible in writing in reverse as far as smoothness. Again, not made for that, but you can do a little bit of that. I never do, but it's there just in case some of you want it. We'll do wetness. And this is, you will notice, not an oversaturated ink at all, but that nib is writing with plenty of wetness. So there you go. Kind of a watery ink. I don't mean that in a bad way. I think that's meant to be that way. A little bit of a dry start on that one. Let's do a quick writing test. You notice it writes nice and smooth. Not crazy smooth. It's not the smoothest in the world, but a good, middle of the road smoothness. It wasn't loud. It's not scratchy. It's not feedbacky. Very comfortable pen to write with. And as I mentioned, posts well. So it's a pleasant writing experience with this pen. Let's do the speed test. Okay, so just a little bit. I think this might have been me and this might have been me. I don't think that was, but could be. I might have turned the nib. Let's just try it again right quick. I'll try to pay a little bit better attention. Okay, I don't know. You could see that. You can slow it down. You can look back and see if that was me or the pen, but just a couple little spots. But for the most part, did quite well. I have not been having issues with the pen, so for me it has been a pretty good, reliable writer. The ink will also, of course, make a difference, and so I'm doing an ink review of this ink also this week, so you'll see that as well and see your impressions of that. All right, let's do some pros and cons. Pro, I have mentioned I like the ergonomics of the pen. Con, of course, is originality. Another pro would be it does offer a really good value. This is a good price for a piston filler pen, regardless of design. And it is a pretty decently made pen, up to Wing Sung's 6 series of pens standards. So, it's not a Pilot, it's not a Lamy or something like that, but a lot of people have had really good experience and good luck with these pens, and I have as well. I don't really have any big beef on that, and it is also, I'm going to go ahead and put this while I'm at it, it is nib swappable. Now, I'm happy with the nib that I have here. But sometimes people are looking for a pen for the purpose of maybe getting a piston filler with a particular style like this, and they know ahead of time, hey, I'm going to be swapping that nib out. Well, you can do that with this pen. Is there another negative? It just does take a little more work to do maintenance on a piston filler pen than it does a cartridge converter. I'm putting that as a con. It's kind of a light con, and it's one that's true to all of these pens, not just this pen, but I think that deserves to be there, especially for somebody new to fountain pens. Any other pros? No, I think I'm just going to leave it right there on the pros and cons. I do like the pen overall. Very pleasant pen to write with, and that is my favorite thing about it. It looks good, it writes well, and it's a good value. And so there's that. It's not original, and it takes a little bit more work to clean it out. But otherwise, I'm really enjoying this pen. All right, I will see you in the comments below and in the next review. Thank you so much for all of your likes, your subscribes, your shares, and your participation in the comments. God bless you. Have a